Good. Good evening and welcome to what's going to be an unusual programme. In a moment we shall be bouncing ourselves into orbit via a satellite and we'll be landing in Los Angeles, where David Bowie is waiting to talk to us and to sing to us. Later we'll be coming a little more down to earth with the writer and the Tom and Jerry fan Kingsley Amis. But first, David Bowie, the boy who was born in Brixton in 1947 and who, after one or two false starts, launched himself on one of the most amazing careers ever known in the pop musical world. His meteoric rise to fame almost equalled that of the mythical character Ziggy Stardust, featured on his records. His admirers called him a prophet, a demigod, and a superman. His critics said he was simply a hoaxer and a charlatan, but his fans adored him and copied his outrageous dress, and some of them to the extent of dyeing their hair orange just like his. But nearly 2 years ago, he left these shores for America, where he has lived in retirement from the glitter of the pop musical world. Earlier this year, he starred in a film in Mexico, and we'll be having a sneak preview of a bit of that film a little bit later. But more important than that, David Bowie has an announcement to make. Let's now go over live by satellite to beautiful downtown Burbank in Los Angeles. Are you there, David Bowie?
Yes.
Last time we met on the air, you were sitting in this studio at this side, and you had a very elegant earring hanging from either your left or right ear, I can't remember. Do you remember that?
How are you, Russell? It's nice to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to see you, David. You look well. What colour is your hair?
Which bit?
The centre bit at the top, above where your nose would be.
Well, what colour does it look?
Well, it looks like a bit of something out of the end of Straw Dogs.
Something out of the end of Straw Dogs.
Right, right. Now, you've got an announcement to make to us all, David, haven't you? You're changing your plans for the future, and you've got something up your sleeve for 1976.
Yes. I'm touring, but I'm coming back to England in May to play shows and look at you and look at England.
Well, you know,
and be there, be English.
Again?
Well, as always, but English in England.
You know, you haven't, your accent, your voice, your method of speech has not changed. You've been away for 2 years.
Yeah.
Does that mean you've been locked away somewhere?
Yes, I don't talk to anybody.
But do people talk to you?
I've heard it rumoured, yes.
Now, when you come back to England to sing...
Well, I've always had this thing in my ear, so it's been difficult to hear them.
But people could shout into your other ear, couldn't they?
Yes.
Right. Now, when you come back to England, you're not presumably coming back with the glamoury, glittery Ziggy Stardust thing, are you?
Uh-huh.
Are you coming back as that?
I don't know yet. I haven't even worked on it.
So
I think it'll probably...
It'll
be a lot more spontaneous.
What? You haven't planned your wardrobe, you haven't planned a figure, you haven't planned an image, whatever that may mean.
I think the image I may adopt may well be me. I'm sort of inventing me at the moment.
You mean reinventing you, yourself?
Yeah, self-invented.
From the waist upwards?
Yes, jolly uncomfortable.
Is it? Now then, how are you... But you really have no simple idea about what you're going to wear. I mean, are you going to wear a little suit, a straight suit, or are you going to be...
I know what songs I'm going to sing, which is the most important thing.
Are they new?
But nothing else, no.
Are they new songs?
And I know the kind of musicians I'm bringing back. And I know sort of approximately how long I'm going to sort of play for on stage, but that's the important thing.
Right, what's brought you back? Are you short of money, or are you short of the feeding off live audience bit?
I'm short of England, more than anything else.
In what way? I mean, you do know that the England you left 2 years ago is not the England you're going to come back to.
Yeah, well, this Thursday is nothing like last Thursday, but it's just as important. I'd miss it if it wasn't after Wednesday.
Right. Do you know that the pop scene, though, at this end, the pop world has changed somewhat since you left?
No.
Have you heard of the Bay City Rollers?
Yes.
Well, you know that they're appealing to a kind of large, mass hysterical audience of young people who wave a lot of stuff around. Now, I wonder what kind of audience you're going to come back to face.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm thinking in a kind of way. You may have to create a whole new scene for yourself.
No.
Well,
Can't qualify that. I'll just come back and play my songs.
now, for someone, you've been quoted as saying, David, that for someone who's not really a very good musician, you've made a lot of rumpus, a lot of noise.
Yeah.
If you don't think you're a good musician, what are you looking for at this moment? What are you searching for?
Got
liquid,
it.
liquid.
Treetop apple juice.
Is it good? Would you spit some across the satellite?
No.
Good. For someone who claims not to be all that good a musician, why are you coming back to perform on stage? Or are you a better musician, in fact, than you admit?
I can't link those two parts. If I'm not that good a musician, why am I coming back?
Yes. Yes.
Well, coming back has got nothing to do with being a musician.
But do you think you're a better musician after 2 years
But
away
I don't
from...
play anything on stage. I'm a good performer, and I'm a good singer. That has nothing to do with being a musician, does it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you must
might do.
You must tell me that. I mean, it's such a profound statement. I don't think I can...
Oh, well, it doesn't have to be that one-sided, does it?
Well...
Aren't you going to contribute?
A little bit, yes. I'm worming away by expensive satellite. Now,
Okay.
well, all right. Now, you've also said that you need to astound people. You don't want to come back just as an ordinary person doing an ordinary gig at the Odeon Hammersmith or wherever it is. Do you have any idea at this stage, apart from just getting out on the stage, how you shall astound us? Or does it actually come to you in the middle of the night before?
I shall probably be a lot fatter than I've been. That'll be my... No, I haven't any thoughts about that at all. The impact of the show has to be the astounding thing, not the dressing of it, you know. Yeah. Dressing of a show is just a dressing. It's a sort of a perfunctory kind of thing. But the content has to astound. I mean, you can dress a show with $1 trillion or £1 trillion worth of goodies, but if the show is not substantial, there will be no impact.
In your memory, what is the best thing you've done on any stage anywhere that still lives with you, that you use as a measuring stick?
That's very hard. One of the most exciting things I did was work with old Lindsay Kemp, back in where would it be? I can't remember which theatre we did it in, but years ago. Well, it was a combined sort of mixed media show. That was very good.
And it didn't have to be a big, glossy, exciting thing. I mean, it was a small, but something important to you.
Well, yes.
Right. Now, you've just finished making the film called The Man Who Came to Earth.
Fell to Earth.
Fell to Earth, I beg your pardon. One of the it's not an easy film to explain to people who haven't seen it, and it's not yet finished, is it?
It's finished in visual. It's not finished in sound. I've got to record the sound. We've written a lot of it. All I can tell you is it's a love story more than anything else. It's very, very sad, very romantic. It brought a lump to my throat watching it. And it's been a gas working on it. Yeah.
How much of a new... How easily did you take to the discipline of filmmaking, which is, as we all know, a hard...
Oh, quite easily. I'm a very disciplined person, you know. It was exciting for me to work with other people who are as disciplined as I am.
Are you being absolutely accurate and honest when you say you're a disciplined person?
Oh, yes.
You impose a discipline on your own music writing, on your own work, do you? I mean, you don't just get up when you know what I'm saying to you. A lot of people in your position have a kind of reputation.
A discipline doesn't mean that you make sure that you have breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning and you are out of the house by 8:30. Discipline is that if you conceive something, then you decide whether or not it's worth following through, and if it's worth following through, then you follow it through to its logical conclusion.
Good.
And do it with to the best of your ability. That's the discipline. Yes?
I applaud that answer.
Whether there are areas in it that are not to one's liking, you have to go right the way through it and do it, and that's what I do.
And more importantly, not to other people's liking. I mean, there are often things that if you decide to do as a major star, you're going to get people worked up about.
Yes.
Because you don't appear at the right place at the right time, or imagination is drying up and you need something else to refuel it.
It's because I thoroughly enjoy looking at myself and looking at the environment that I'm in at any time with the eyes of someone who's not involved in any particular line of the arts. So it comes out as a sort of eclectic manifestation, you know. So I'm still a fan of everything. Fan of films, fan of records, fan of rock bands, and fan of yours.
Well, most kind
I
of
am a fan of yours.
Are you
Great fan
really?
of yours.
Well,
Yeah.
let's get back to eclectic manifestations. Now, the film, we're going to look at a bit of it, and then we'll talk a bit more about it. Here you are, having fallen to Earth, and as you're adjusting to the Earth's atmosphere, you gain the attention of a young lady in your hotel room.
Listen, I must say, just before you put that on, it's assumed that I'm an alien from out of space. It's not necessarily true.
All right, fine, we'll come back to that.
And then, when I was 15, I worked in this pharmacy in a hospital, delivering medicines to all the floors. It was a real responsible job. Boy, you're really hooked on water, aren't you? One of these days, you ought to try one of these. Am I talking too much? Maybe I ought to go. Oh, Lord, it's after 3. I guess you're tired. Well, I'll just finish this up and then... And then I think I'll have another one. You know, I really like you, mister. What do you do? For a living, I mean.
Oh, just visiting.
Oh, a traveler.
Could you help me out, please?
Sure. Oh. You know, mister, I don't think you get enough to eat. If you don't mind my saying so, I think you're too thin. You're very thin. You're too thin. Do you come from a city?
No, I come from the country.
Ah, I wish I lived in the country. You know, this is a very unhealthy place. Water here's all polluted. They put all kinds of chemicals in it to keep people from getting sick. It's a very unhealthy place.
I think it just takes getting used to, that's all.
It sure does. Anyway,
I wonder if you'd mind, Mary Lou, if I rested now.
Lord, no. I was just leaving anyway. I'll come back and see you tomorrow if you want me.
I'd like to see you tomorrow. Perhaps you could arrange to bring me a television.
TV? Nothing easier. Well, I'll be seeing you then, Mr.
Sussex.
Sussex. I don't know why, but I'll never be able to remember that name. Good night.
Good night. Thank you, Mary Lou. Thank you.
You're welcome.